The 5 maps are being picked from the current seasonal spring campaign. In one of the next upcoming Trackmania seasonal project events in the country championship, there will be actually 20 maps out of the potential map pack played. And the players also will have the maps played in random. That will be the country championship, which will have the same format as the matchmaking system, but the maps will be played in best of 3. And it is still possible to register for that and be the one to participate or represent your country, or you can also play in and play in as a import player. And if there are multiple teams from your country, let's say if you're from a bigger region like France or Germany, if there are multiple teams, then there will be a dedicated regional qualifier. Well, it will be decided who will be the representative team. Anyways, focusing on the match, we'll have the round 1 on Spring 22 winners brackets, match 1 between NRC, Palmal, Spyder and Winkyface. So we'll have 3 Australians and 1 Singaporean in the match. The format is exactly the same as we saw previously. It's a points limit till 100 points. Cup mode, sorry. Top 2 winners of this match will go on to winners final. Bottom 2 will move on to the losers bracket. So in this round, we also already see a fairly close round between Spyder, Palmal and Winkyface. Winkyface having a small lead over the other 2. Palmal having a very unfortunate loop, losing quite a bit of speed, but looks like Spyder can a bit attack on the on Winkyface, but Winkyface actually having a very consistent middle line, having a very nice exit speed as well that will allow him to a bit like get away from Spyder, but it all comes down to the end turn. Looks like Winkyface is a bit oversteering and Spyder loses a gear, but Winkyface managed to save himself and he will finish off with the first 10-pointer of the match, opening the first round win already. So Spyder gets second, Palmal third, and NRC gets fourth. Sorry. So Winkyface already looking fairly strong on this map, being looking fairly convincing during the most of the round. But yeah, this match's level is gonna be a bit harder than what we saw in round 1. At the same time, in the other side of the bracket, we have Simply Nick, Fiddy, Gaming Boy, and Idol having also the winner's bracket match. And there's also one loser bracket match happening between Resiro, Rizzy, and Arpo, where actually the last player will be going outside of the event. Anyway, in this round, we again see a very close top 3 fight between Palmal, Winkyface, and Spyder. Spyder actually having a small lead over it, but looks like Winkyface's line is, and looks like the approach for next turn is going to be a bit better. But Spyder still managed to maintain his position, but looks like Winkyface is a bit more exit speed. But actually Palmal is now attacking. Looks like Winkyface is a bit oversteering. Spyder is going very wide. Palmal is a bit more steering. Can he snipe it? No, it's actually Winkyface taking this win. And falling by Palmal only by 0.03 of a second, and Spyder having a small mistakes at the end and trying to bit save too much, and he will getting third in this round. So coming up on round 3 on Spring 22. So at the moment we have Winkyface with 20 points, Palmal and Spyder are tied with 10, and then NRC at the moment is last. But there's still early parts of the match, so anything can still happen. Looks like this might not be that strong of a map for NRC, but maybe some of the other maps that we'll see will be fairly good. And actually, if we look at the top, it looks like that Palmal and Spyder were really close for that part, but looks like Spyder has a bit more exit speed to allow him to maintain his position throughout. Looks like Spyder going a bit avoiding the airtime line. But yeah, that's a very wide approach there. That was not one of the best, but it's still enough for Spyder to maintain his lead. Palmal tries to attack, but let's see, like we saw in the last round, it all comes down to the end, and let's see. Spyder looks like he managed to save himself and managed to maintain and gets the 10-pointer. Palmal second. Actually, NRC almost sniping a very close fight between Winkyface, while only just a couple tenths of the second for the second place. But it'll be NRC taking third, and Winkyface was actually getting last place in this round. Coming to the last round on 22. Spyder again having a nice lead over the others, but it's just a small lead, and we saw that it all just comes down to the end. and some other mistakes or maybe some pressure moments, because this is one of the first few events for this region's players where they're actually playing, since most of the events are for very European-centric time zones, so most of these players didn't have the chance to come participate, sadly, in most events, so this is finally their chance to duke it out, and especially for their own region as well. So meanwhile in the round we have Spyder in first place. At the moment, Winky in second, let's say, and Palmo first. I think it's, yeah, NRC is also fairly close, but for this map, this kind of gap is actually very catch-upable. So yeah, looks like everyone did this last turn fairly similarly, and it's gonna be Spyder taking the 10-pointer, followed by Winkyface, Palmo, and NRC in fourth. So yeah, Spyder now overtaking the league over Winkyface, showing that some of the Singaporean players actually can do some damage over the Australians that were meant to be as the event favorites coming into this event. In the previous match, when we watched in the round 1, it was between Palmo, Spyder, and Hardtack. Looks like Palmo was looking fairly shaky on this map. Spyder actually have seen that he sets very, very decent rounds on some of the maps. So this might be Spyder's chance to do some damage, but I actually did not see how well Winkyface will perform. Winkyface is like one of the top 5 players in Australia at the moment. And in campaign ranking wise. So it looks like he's looking actually pretty good line wise, I'll be honest. So it looks like he might be doing some damage here. We're doing some catch-up game happening. So anyway, if we look at the match scores, at the moment we have NRC in 4th place with 13 points, Palmo with 3rd with 20, Winkyface with 29, and Spyder just with 1 point ahead of Winkyface with 30 points is 1st. So yeah, just a couple more seconds and I'll be starting off map 2. So the first round on Spring 19. Top 2 players from this match move on to the winners final. Bottom 2 go on to losers bracket that will be played out after this match. So let's see how the players will play out. Looks like Palmo not having the best of starts. Being a very close fight between Spyder and Winkyface at the start of the map. Actually, NRC trying to do some damage a bit to 3rd place, but the gap is fairly big. It looks like the top 2 players have a bit more exit speed as well. It even allows Palmo to catch up. Oh, Spyder actually made a small touch that will put him out of the fight for top 2 positions. Looks like Winkyface has a very comfortable lead in 1st place, followed by Palmo. Then NRC in 3rd place, also very close. Look, it's actually Winkyface. Winkyface actually getting the small bump, putting him in the back of the pack together with Spyder. And if we look at the top of the pack, looks like Palmo is actually going to take this win, secure his 10-pointer, then followed by NRC, who will take his, I think, his first top 2 placement in this match so far. And then followed by Winkyface and Spyder. So this will spice up the leaderboard. Yeah, being only 3 points gap between 1st and 3rd place. So this is looking like a fairly close match. So top 2 from this match. We'll move on to, as we saw, an early mistake from, which was it, NRC. So that he'll put him out of this match unless other people do even a bigger mistake. One of the great things about campaign maps is that you can do different kind of lines as your opponents, but there sometimes can be the same kind of outcome. So sometimes some lines are a bit riskier, unlike some tech maps or some modern TMGL maps, where it's usually like just one line being taken throughout the map. But here there can be multiple lines being taken. But yeah, very close match coming in the last 2 turns. Winkyface having a small lead, but looks like Spyder is gonna take a bit better line for exit speed. Looks like Winkyface got the gear down, but Palmo has a bit more speed. Will it be enough for the Spyder to catch up? And will Spyder actually taking it? Yes, he will. Winkyface... No, Palmo actually crashed just before the end, and even NRC managed to snipe him just before. That's very unfortunate for Palmo. But yeah, it will be Spyder taking the 10-pointer, followed by Winkyface. Sadly, Palmol did not manage to finish. He was very, very close. Just a few pixels off, but it was, yeah. Risk too much a bit. So yeah, in this round, NRC is at the back. Did not have the best exit from that drift. That will put him a pretty big gap behind the other players. So at the moment, we have Palmol in the league, followed by Winkyface, then Spyder in third place. Having a nice battle at the moment. Looks like like with this NASCAR type turn, some different kind of outcomes can happen because exit speed here is very important. No one goes for the risky inside line. Everyone tries to save it a bit, try to maybe capitalize on other players' mistakes. So let's see what will come out here. Looks like Winkyface tries to push for the exit speed line. Let's see. He still maintains grip. Will it be enough? Palmol is at the moment at first. Will it be enough? No. It will be Palmol taking the 10-pointer. Winkyface second. Spyder will take the first place. And is NRC about to finish? It's looking fairly close, but sadly, no. So yeah. Another round that will spice up the leaderboard even more. We still have Spyder in first place, followed by Winkyface, and then Palmol in third. Top 2 players from this match will move on to the next stage, as NRC again has one of the early mistakes. Bit unfortunate. So top 2 players from this match will go to the winners final, as the current race leader Spyder makes a pretty big mistake that even allows NRC to overtake him. So now it's a duel between the Australians. So it's between Winkyface and Palmol. Both players are doing fairly equal, but looks like Palmol has a bit more exit speed. That's actually Winkyface gets to insane reactor boost line and has a bit more exit speed, so let's see. Winkyface has a bit more speed, but it all comes out to if he can keep the gear, have to go for the exit speed line, which is really, really hard to do on this map. So let's see who will do. Oh, the releases are coming. Looks like Palmol has a bit more exit speed. Oh, he tries to push with the inside line, but it's not enough. But at least both players kept the gear. Goes for the low jump. Can he maintain it? And it will be enough. And Winkyface takes the 10-pointer in this round, followed by Palmol. We take a look at other players. Spyder is going the wrong way, but NRC takes the third place with the +4. And yeah, a bit unfortunate for Spyder because this will put him in basically almost third place. But he still managed to keep his second place, but it's only 1 point gap between him and third place. Yeah, now coming up to the 09. One of the maps where it's also this map is very favorable for Spyder. When I saw him in time attack or in the qualifier, in the round 1 he was doing really good round times here. He was doing like 0.2s, which is pretty good. Yeah, that's not a very good line there, Winkyface. So I think this could be the map where Spyder could potentially catch up to Winkyface and get some extra 10-pointers, but let's see how other players do. I saw that Palmol was not looking the best on this map, at least comparing to Spyder. Yeah, this doesn't show that fact as well. Let's see how actually Winkyface and NRC perform in this matchup. So NRC and Winkyface came on from the winners match number 1. Spyder and Palmol came from winners match 2, where they beat Reezy and Hardtack with a very close fight, with Palmol barely snapping the second place. So let's see how we'll go on this round. First round on Spring 09. A big favorite here is Spyder, but let's see how we'll do. So let's follow him. None of the players making the same mistake like in warm-up. It's like Palmol actually pushing with the inside line, getting a bit of airtime that will not allow him to keep the exit speed as he bumps in the wall as well. Looks like Winkyface has a still nice comfortable lead. Looks like Spyder not having the best of rounds, but he has a lot of exit speed. He has way more speed than NRC, and I think he has the same amount of speed as Winkyface. Let's see for the inside line. Winkyface trying to push for the inside line. He has a very nice executed line, that, and Winkyface will take the 10-pointer. NRC will take the second place, and Spyder will take the +4. And Palmol, even with his mistake, at least will manage to finish and get the +3 at the end. But yeah, very nice +10 from Winkyface. That will allow him to increase the lead over second place by quite a bit. Now increasing the points gap to 14 points. Even though I said Spyder was one of the favorites in this match, sadly his round time was not the best. It's like he was, maybe some pressure was coming or a bit. But yeah, let's see. Oh, I think that was a respawn, and it was from Winkyface, current match leader. Looks like Pommel did not manage to secure his line, and did not make a mistake this time around. Yeah, at the moment a close race between, not really close, but a pretty big gap and a very consistent round from Spyder. Falling by NRC, it looks like NRC was a bit pushing it, but it was not enough, and Spyder actually managed to take the 10-pointer on his one of the best maps for the event, and securing and reducing the gap between Wing and Winkyface for the top 2 placements. So coming out to the next round, we have at the moment Winkyface with 69 points, Spyder with 61, Palmal with 52, and NRC with 39. Even the points gaps are fairly big. I think in just a couple of rounds it can still switch up or swap some players in the player pool by quite a bit. Spyder has a really good exit speed out of that turn, having a massive gap over second place, but even being 4/10 over the second place. Looks like Palma does not even have enough speed. Looks like Winkyface had another minor mistake, but it was enough to put him in the last position. Now let's see at the top. Spyder clips the cactus. Palma gets the airtime, but it's still enough to finish. Almost NRC almost snipes him for the first place. But yeah, very, very unfortunate. A bit even a silly move from Spyder there, risking the fast last few turn and throwing away an easy 10-pointer. But yeah, Palma easily collected that plus 10 and is now reducing the gap to second place, but to only 2 points. I saw a small mistake from the early beginning, and it was NRC with a small touch. Palma gets a bit there time. So again, it's a duel between Spyder and Winkyface. Fairly consistent lands. Will Spyder be able to do the silly mistake? No, he takes a bit more safer approach, and with the lead he can safely do so. Actually, he drives a really good time here as well. 37.2 is a pretty good round stop. Winkyface as well. Yeah, but sadly the 37.5 was not enough to take the win on this round. So Spyder collects another plus 10 points on this map. Winkyface plus 6, Palma plus 4, and NRC plus 3. And we'll be switching over to the next map, which will be 14. In the previous match we spectated, we saw that Spyder and Palma were looking the best on this map, so no idea how Winkyface actually showing that he has the pace to even keep up with the both 2 players. NRC needs to a bit step up his game if he wants to do some damage. So let's see what will be happening on this map. So yeah, looks like Winkyface looking fairly strong with the 43.0x warm-up time. So let's see if we'll be able to do that, because remember in the last few rounds, in the last match we spectated, we did see that players were able to do 42s in the match. So let's see. If he'll be able to do it here. No early mistakes so far from the players, although Palma has a bit of a shaky line. All players maintaining Winkyface and Palma a bit too much touching the grass, and NRC taking a bit too safe approach. Palma does have a lot more exit speed than Winkyface, but let's see if he will be able to maintain it throughout the last few turns. Spyder still maintains his lead. Winkyface is clawing it third, but looks like his exit speed is not enough. Looks like will Palma be able to overtake Spyder in this matchup? This is a bit of a deja vu situation from last few rounds, unless it will be actually Spyder taking the 10-pointer here, following by Palma with Winkyface in third and NRC in fourth. And I believe due to that, now Spyder is gonna overtake Winkyface in the rankings, only having a 1 points gap between the top 2 players. So this is the regular cup mode format, played till 100 points. So we can just end it. Maybe the players can even potentially end it off on this map. If Spyder gets a top 2 finish and then wins another round in next 2 rounds, he can enter the finalist status. Yeah, Spyder having a fairly comfortable lead over Winkyface, but looks like that outside line was not a bit paying off. Winkyface a bit having a small touch, but doesn't lose too much speed, while there's Palmal. Palmal is a pretty far behind, but does well with NRC. Looks like it'll be at the end. Looks like Spyder's taking a relatively safe line at the end. There was no point of risk that. And Spyder is taking another plus 10 pointer, while Winkyface gets a plus 6. Spyder now just needs to get a top 2 finish and he will enter the finalist status. Top 2 players from this match will move on to the winner bracket final. That will be played out tomorrow. And the bottom 2 players will move on to the loser bracket. That will be played in a match after this one. So at the start of the match, we already see Spyder leading the race, trying to also steal some points from Winkyface, giving him more finalist opportunities. Winkyface is 11 points away. Even if he managed to win this round, he's gonna be only 1 point out. But looks like Spyder is still in the lead. But Winkyface still trying to push it, denying some points from Spyder. But oh no, he slides out a bit. And Spyder's gonna take another 10 pointer, following by Palmal. Winkyface getting third, but almost getting sniped by NRC even. And Spyder is gonna be the first player to enter the finalist mode. Potentially the final round for Spyder. This has been looking a fairly strong map for him. If he does the same amount of performance as the same kind of performance he did on the previous rounds, he can secure his spot in the winners bracket final. Yeah, looks like a fairly decent line from other players. It's a very close fight between Palmal and Winkyface for the 2nd and 3rd place. Well, Palmar having a nice attack, but a very risky line from Palmar. Potentially can deny a place from Spyder, sorry. Well, it's a very close fight between these two. It's a bit of, again, a bit of a deja vu situation. Looks like Palmar has a bit more speed. Will he be able to deny? And he did. By 6 thousandths of a second, he denied Spyder his first finalist opportunity. And that's... he will closing in on his finalist status himself. Winkyface just needs to finish next round on the next map, and he will enter it as well. Meanwhile, Palmar needs to finish in next round in 1st place to enter the finalist status as well. And Spyder needs to win this one to move on to the next stage. So this is a massive fight between Spyder, Winkyface, and Palmar. Who will move on to the tomorrow's winners bracket final, and who will be the one who will move to the loser bracket match later on the day. So this map, in a nutshell, Spring 11, the main part in this map is the start. One small mistake at the start and it's basically your run is over here. And we saw a lot of mistakes happening from players just by after the first jump, or just bit of the pressure, trying to push through the poles and having a small touch, thus losing their round winning opportunities. It looks like everyone says that this is their worst map. So let's see who's worst map, but who's actually the best. Looks like NRC is looking fairly confident on this one, so let's see what will happen. Was there a late start? No, Winkyface actually bonked the pole right away and then does an instant respawn. Palmar touches the end. This is what I said, that this map is very easy to do mistakes on at the start. Like Spyder has a fairly comfortable, like he goes for a very safe line, allows him to get a lot of exit speed. NRC a bit oversteers there and loses quite a bit of speed, but allows him to get a lot of exit speed due to the Palmar's mistake and allows him to overtake. Looks like will Spyder be able to finish off this? And yes, Spyder will be the first person to move on to the winners bracket final. And now it's just one Australian can move on from this match. Winkyface is entering finalist. Will he be able to finalist and be the 2nd player from this match to move on to the next stage? Palmar needs to deny him. Or maybe NRC can also do it. But looks like, yeah, all three players are still in the fight. Even the gap is a bit like 0.2, 0.3, anything can still happen. Small touch can completely throw the match in the other direction. All players, actually NRC having a way more exit speed than both of the players, but it all comes down to last turn. Will Winkyface be securing it? And he touches, so it will be actually Palmol taking the 10-pointer, NRC securing a 6-pointer, but sadly it's a bit too far. NRC really needs to step up his game to potentially go for the top 2 placement in this match. But now we have double finalist situation between Winkyface and Palmol. Both our players are top 10 Australia, who will be the one who will be go on to the winners bracket final in this event. It looks like Palmol having an early mistake, the pressure a bit was too much, so it comes down to NRC. Can NRC potentially snipe Winkyface for the top 2 placement here? Oh, he goes for the inside line, nice push from him. Now let's see, oh, Winkyface touches, so this can be, oh no, very shaky lines from NRC, I'll be honest. And it all comes down to, it looks like NRC might actually give a chance to Palmol to move on to the next stage, and looks like even though Winkyface is a bit more XP, it's still not enough, and NRC takes the 10-pointer for him, actually closing in the gap, and looks like we'll have another round deciding who will be the second place in this match, and who will be the second player moving on from this match to the winners bracket final. These players are not really that competition experienced, so pressure is really high for them. Maybe due to the stress, some mistakes can happen, some finger slip-ups. And early on, actually, again, fairly close round between all the 3 players. Very close fight between Winkyface and Palmar. NRC is sadly out. Palmar has very shaky lines, and he touches. Yeah, looks like this might be a 1 for Winkyface unless there's some miracle happening at the end. Looks like Winkyface even not having the best of lines, but he still managed, and Winkyface will be the second person to move on to winners bracket final. GG. So yeah, in this match we have Spyder from Singapore winning this match, and Winkyface securing the second place, Palmar getting third, and NRC getting fourth. So Spyder and Winkyface will now move on to the next stage, into the winners bracket final that will be played tomorrow. But Palmol and NRC will be playing in the losers bracket match that's gonna be happening in around 20 or so minutes. And due to that, we'll do some small break before the next match, so stay tuned.
Flashback to the good times before the feelings hurt my soul. What I learned from your lies is I don't need you at all. I tried to be kind, I gave it my all. But you changed your mind, and it felt so cruel. It's time to move on, it's time to be strong. All the memories in my head,